the serial-killing Granny Ripper who confessed to 11 murders in a gruesome diary, also may have eaten her victims. Tamara Samsonova is thought to have beheaded and dismembered her victims in a reign of terror that lasted 2 decades. The pensioner dubbed the Granny Ripper entered details of her secret life in diaries which she kept in Russian, English and German, alongside black magic and astrological books. In particular, Samsonova had a penchant for gauging out and eating lungs. After graduating from Moscow State Linguistic University, she moved to St. Petersburg to work for a travel agent, where she met the love of her life, Alexei. Tamara and Alexei married and moved into a lovely apartment where they lived for decades. The neighbors always found them friendly and accommodating. They had no complaints or regrets. But 30 years later, Alexei went missing. In 2000, St. Petersburg police knocked on Tamara's apartment. It turned out that Tamara had been living alone for a while. Her husband, Alexei, had gone missing, and she didn't care. When the police questioned Tamara about her husband, she offhandedly told them he had run away with some woman and that she didn't care. While the police found no evidence proving Tamara's claims, they also didn't find any reason not to believe her. After all, she was a friendly person who caused no trouble. So, the police closed the case, and everyone moved on with their lives. Alexei had been missing for months, and Tamara didn't believe he would return. The loneliness was too much for her to handle. She wanted someone to talk to, share the space with, and be around. So, in mid-2001, she sublet her apartment. Tamara ended up renting her apartment to a middle-aged man, Volodya, but he moved out in a few weeks, citing inhospitable conditions. Volodya wouldn't be the last person to leave like that. Tamara sublet the house to several more men, all of whom had a falling out. The neighbors could constantly hear screams, banging, and violent disagreements. In 2003, Sergei rented the place from Tamara. Like his predecessors, he also moved out in a few weeks. The only unusual factor was that his moving out was abrupt and unnoticed. One day he was there, and the next, he was gone. Sadly, no one thought much about him. Since Sergei was from a different town, people assumed he had gone back home. By 2015, Tamara was about 70 years old and enjoying life. She had retired and had more time on her hands. So, she decided to renovate her apartment. And since the renovations would take several weeks, she requested her friend's help. Her friend asked another woman, Valentina Ulanova, to host Tamara for a few weeks. The 79-year-old woman lived on the same street as Tamara, which was convenient. Soon, Tamara started showing her true colors. The arguments, banging, and loud noises began. Valentina did not know how far the renovations were, and Tamara showed no intention of leaving the house. Tamara was so comfortable living there that she just wanted to continue doing that forever. The tension in the house kept growing until, one day, it burst. Valentina and Tamara started arguing about whose turn to do the dishes. Things got way out of hand, and Tamara felt the need to handle the problem suitably. A few days later, a young couple from the neighborhood were walking their dog when they noticed something unusual. For a few days, their dog always seemed to get worked up when they crossed a pond. It had never happened before or anywhere else, and it just seemed strange. So, the couple investigated the scene and found human remains rolled in a shower curtain, packed in small plastic bags. They informed the police, and the investigation began. The police began questioning people in the neighborhood, and that was when they learned that Tamara had thrown out garbage bags in the wee morning hours a few days ago. They also found CCTV footage proving the claim. Police questioned Tamara, and she was more than willing to cooperate. She cordially invited them inside and even asked them to look around. The police quickly found their evidence. The police detected blood splatters on the bathroom and kitchen floor and noticed the missing shower curtain. But before they could confront Tamara with their findings, she confessed. She killed Valentina. Tamara told the police that she went to a local pharmacy and got a hold of some phenazepam, the Russian version of schizophrenia medicine. She then prepared Valentina's favorite salad with a tiny twist. She added crushed phenazepam, not just 1 or 2 pills, the whole 50-pack. When Valentina came home to the incredible aroma, she couldn't resist herself. She almost immediately dug into the salad and devoured it. Valentina didn't sense a thing when the world went black. She didn't know Tamara was just getting started. At 3 a.m., Tamara got to work. She picked a hacksaw and some kitchen knives to chop Valentina into smaller pieces. All the while, Valentina was still alive. After dismembering Valentina, Tamara collected the body parts and packed them into smaller plastic bags. She also took a saucepan and boiled her head and fingers. Tamara claimed to have done this to conceal Valentina's identity. Then, she took these bags to a nearby pond, dumped them there, and continued with her business as if nothing had ever happened. 2 days after the police arrested Tamara, she had her court hearing. Tamara didn't put up any resistance. She calmly claimed to have handled the situation in a way she deemed fit. Then Tamara blew a kiss to the cameras and looked happy and lighthearted. She showed no remorse for killing a friendly person who let her into her house. Even when the judge ordered Tamara to be held in custody, she applauded for that. She was fully ready for this ruling. However, what shocked people was when Tamara didn't just confess to Valentina's murder. She claimed to have killed many more people. Since Tamara confessed to many murders, the police had an open investigation. So, they looked into Tamara's belongings and found her diary. It had detailed accounts of at least 12 murders she had committed over the years. She wrote them so she wouldn't miss the critical moments of her life. When the diary became public, the media went crazy. No one understood how a sweet-looking 70-year-old granny could commit such heinous crimes. No one in their wildest dreams would have assumed Tamara to have executed these gruesome murders. The media nicknamed Tamara Granny Ripper, similar to Jack the Ripper, based on the diary accounts and investigation details. There were theories about cannibalism. The fact that Tamara had cooked Valentina's head, and the police did not find many of Valentina's organs, contributed to the idea. While it was only a hypothesis, many called Tamara Baba Yaga, based on the Slavic folklore about an evil witch who cooked and ate her victims. When the police looked into the several murders Tamara had committed, they realized that most of her victims were from out of town, people who had no one to search for them or report them missing. Like Sergei Potvin, the roommate who abruptly left in 2003. It turned out that after the argument, Tamara had poisoned Sergei, dismembered him, and disposed of him. It also turned out that the police, in 2003, found Sergei's torso, but they couldn't connect the dots. The police didn't know who it belonged to or if he was even from this neighborhood. Tamara's diary mentioned a victim named Volodya. Many assumed it was her first ever roommate after Alexei's disappearance, but the police found the man alive and healthy. However, Volodya told the police that he got admitted to the hospital for poisoning after he left Tamara's apartment. At that time, he assumed it to be something he had eaten elsewhere. It looked like Tamara had tried to poison Volodya too, but he got lucky. When stories of Tamara's victims came to daylight, many speculated if she had killed her husband, Alexei. After all, Tamara claimed the man just took off without reason, and the police could never find him. But even when Tamara admitted to killing several people, she never commented on Alexei's disappearance. Her diary also had little information on him.